Howdy, folks. Hope you're well. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining us. Able to hear me on playback. So, welcome everybody. I can see you in, Gary. Thank you. So, welcome everybody. You're watching on the screen now, aren't you? Right. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much. Welcome to everybody joining. Yeah, that cricket. What is that all about? Let's get rid of the cricket, shall we? It's got rid of the cricket. Bit of feedback there. Hope that's better for you guys. Hope that's better for you. Hope you can hear me all right. I know I'm on a delay. It's the feedback on my talkback. Okay, guys. So welcome. You shouldn't be able to hear the feedback anymore. Got lots of people watching. Thank you. I will go through some comments in a little while. First things first, we're going to get some more results done. I got some more results in for you all to have a look at. And first, we are going over to the East Coast Federation Dublin, 7th of September, race point of Fermoy with a northwest wind. And Stephen O'Brien topped the Fed at 1090 velocity. And welcome. Also, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Curtis and S and daughter Stilagoran. J. Mulroy, Castle Banningman at 4th, and J. and D. Douglas at 6th. So well done to you, Stephen, for topping the Fed there, mate. Well done indeed. Then we've got a South African result. Frank and Charlie with the Springfontein. It's the combine over there. It was on the 10th of September. 64 members sent 612 birds. Well done to you guys as a South African result. Love to see that. Gary Holiday posted and said about NNG Worldsworth at the Harrington Central Flying Club, Stratford result, 6 sent 94 birds. So he wanted to give a shout out to Jeff. He's won the last 5 races, taking multiple positions and taking the first 6 twice. He said, keep up the good work, mate. And, that's a message to me. You don't even need to know that. Why am I reading that bit out? So, yeah. What else have we got? We've got Andre from South Africa. Well done to you, Andre, for winning your race. 60 members sent 262 birds there over in South Africa. Well done. Again, I love to get overseas races as well. It makes me very happy. The Croydon Classic over in Melbourne, Australia. Winners first, 10th to 9th. Raphael Lay pocketing 8,100 Australian dollars. Well done to you guys. 10th place with Rodney Main and Donna Gatt. Well done to all. And thank you for sharing that, Mark Payne. Next, we've got Aaron Dickinson. Was Noel and Aaron Dickinson getting a national result over there in Wicklow, in Kinsale 2. Results for the Kinsale 2. 217 birds sent by 9 members. Well done to you guys as well. In the next set of results, we've got quite a lot of results, guys. 1 second. That screwed that up. So then we've got the Blackford 3 members sent 44 birds. Crossan and Connolly took the top 7 there. Well done to you guys. North Coast Classic, T and L Cook took the top spot there. It's the NCC Final 2019, and Taxi Mush took 2nd. I've heard that name before. I must know the person somehow. Hard one to read, this, guys. but well done to Jay Rodway taking the northwest section. That's really hard to read. I apologize. I should have been more prepared on that. But well done for you taking the northwest section. Excluding sons and grandson or daughter. That was the throne race in the Gloucestershire and District Federation. Well done for you taking top 5 there. Really well done. Excellent result. Nevin and Barry took the top 2. 3rd was Henry Byrne. 5th was Madden Brothers. Duggan and family took 5th and 6th, and Henry Bird coming back in at 7th, 8th, and 9th, and Nevin and Barry. Well done to you guys for that. In the Dublin Northeast from Mallow, 8 members sent 267 birds. Mr. and Mrs. John Hayden took first 3 spots. Jim McGovern took 4th and 5th, and then Mr. and Mrs. John Hayden dominating again at 6th to 10th. Well done to you guys. I already read that one out. And we have a continental result from Châteauroux. I wanted to mention this again because this is a 16-year-old guy. Ingo Bergman's a 16-year-old kid. Yes, he's flying with Carl Donnelly's birds, but he took that spot, and I wanted to give a special mention to him again because I think at 16 he's doing a great job. M. Turlow had another great result there with 165 birds over there on the continent as well. He took the top 7 there against 280 birds as well. So well done to you. Norfolk and Suffolk South Road Championship Club. Mr. M. Fuller took the top 2, beating Mr. Fennick, who then dominated with 3rd to 2nd spot. Well done to Mr. Fennick. 54 members sent 950 birds in the Woking Young Bird there. Well done to you guys indeed. PA Potterfield in the Maidenhead race, St. Mary's RPC took the top spot there. I want to give a special mention. This is not a result, but it's a race coming up, to Michael Simmons asking me to give this a shout out, which I want to do. Michael's organising an open race. It's the Thames National from the ZAC. It's a national open race, and basketing is this Monday evening coming. It's a Wednesday race. Please support the race as it's the first year running. It's £500 first prize, £500 for the fastest Thames breeder buyer bird timed, and £250 for the fastest timed. All of the big names are sending. So I wanted to give a shout out to that. And, it's all good what you guys are doing. And good congratulations and good luck to everybody in that. So there we are there. That's the results and that one race that I wanted to highlight. Not up to speed today on the results, are we, Mark? Right, so next we've got Gary Tomlinson back on. Now, let's just check people can see. I can see. So we've got Gary Tomlinson on again. Now, you may say, hang on a minute, Gary Tomlinson twice in a week. What's going on? But we had a massive response. He's smiling at that comment. We had a massive response to Monday's show, and we had people asking Gary more questions after he'd gone. So I said, you know what, let's bring you back to get those questions answered. Can you hear me all right, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate, yeah.
Great, excellent. Good stuff. So while I'm finding these questions, because I'm not quite as prepared as I should be, your inbox, friend requests and everything is blowing up, or did blow up, or probably still is, eh?
Yeah, it's gone crazy. Absolutely crazy. because I want to help the novice out and try and get them not up to speed, but some sort of idea where they need to be to win races, basically, and hopefully move on from club level to doing well in the sections of the nationals, etc.
Good. But you were literally bombarded after Monday's show. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No problem, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, you were literally bombarded. I know we spoke late night. You were up late.
Yeah, I had one hell of a lot of questions, you know. And I mean, I've had some quite silly questions, but most have been really, really positive. And a lot.
Well, when you say silly, you don't mean. When you say silly, let's just clarify. You don't. I know you well enough now to know what you mean. You don't mean. You know, you're not being condescending to people. You don't mean too basic questions or anything like that, do you? You just
not in any way, shape, or form. No, that's not my way. Not at all. I've got time for everybody. And
I just wanted to clarify. You didn't mean that. You know, there's no silly question from a point of view of asking real questions because everybody's at different levels. You meant probably idiotic questions.
Yeah, more to the point. Yeah. What I am really, really pleased about is I had at least 3 fanciers who got the sons aged between 9 and 12 really taking an interest in pigeons. And as I said to all these 3 people, I'm quite busy at the moment with the auction, etc. Plus my father being in hospital is not helping. So I said, contact me the end of October and I'll help you in every way I can. And I really mean that. Plus, I will also donate or give them a few pigeons to try out next year. And, you know, we'll move on from there.
Good. Now, I can't remember who it was that asked the question, but I do remember the question while I'm looking for any others that came in. And the question was, do you have any tips on resettling or resettling birds? Don't tell me we've foxed Tomo. Have we foxed Tomo?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to.
We'll find one question that does eventually.
We've had pigeons which people have bought from our one loft race auction, and they've settled them, and they've gone on to win, and they've gone on to win from the channel, even from one. I'm not mentioning his name, but a local fancy only a mile and a half away. So you would have thought it would be much easier for that bird to come back here than go to his own loft. But I mean, the best way to settle them, if they will settle, is get them paired up, get them sitting eggs, get them, or even on a youngster. Take the hen away so that if it's a cock, the cock is the only one feeding the youngster. Vice versa, if it's a hen, the hen is the only one feeding the youngster. You know, you only need to get them back in that loft once, and you can virtually say you've cracked it. It's all about getting them back in that loft. They may disappear for 2 days, but don't give up. It's how many times do we get a stray pigeon come in? It never sees outside. You take it down the road, you sling it out. Hopefully, go back to the rightful owner, and it's back at your loft. Sometimes back before your pigeons are. So it can be done. It can be done, and you can get some great pigeons like that. So yeah, it can be done. That's the way I would do it. I'd get them on a youngster or on eggs, and just have that one. The pigeon you want to settle, have that one pigeon feeding the youngster, and see what happens. You know, but don't give up.
Okay, fair enough. We've got some people saying they didn't know the show was on. I don't know why that's happened, guys. To be fair, I haven't shared it into the RPI group as I normally do. But I don't know why it was coming up. Remember, the main show is broadcast now from the RPI main page, Racing Pigeon International page. and I am now sharing it into a couple of other groups. So I don't quite know what that was, guys. So I'm just sharing it out now. I'm not very good at multitasking while I have to think what I'm doing. Typical bloke. I'm going to share it into your group as well, Gary, because you are on. That's just bumped the shares I've done already. It's amazing when you share, you know, you see the views going up quick. So we've got 80 people watching us now. Great, excellent. So I apologize about that, guys. Okay, so we've got some more questions coming in, Gary. Hang on one second. Sorry, I'm bombarded with comments here, so just give me a second, guys. I need to catch up. I will catch up on all your other comments, guys. I'm not ignoring you. Right, Chris Bennett says, could you ask Gary if it was worming the birds for a selected race, or was it respiratory dose? Does that make sense to you? I assume you've had a conversation with him.
Yeah, I understand exactly where it's coming from. What fanciers tend to do is they want to race every week, rightly so. But my philosophy is you need to produce that athlete for that one big race, and to do that, you need to give it a boost. Now, something really simple like worming the pigeon on Monday. So let's say we're basketing now for Thursday for a race from France. I'm talking about national racing now, French races. Worm the pigeon on a Sunday or a Monday, or even Monday and Tuesday, and it will boost that pigeon, will boost its performance. I'm not saying it's going to win, but it gives it that little bit of oomph, if you like. Same if you was to use a respiratory treatment, so we'll say Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Sunday, Monday, just 2 days. It gives them that boost, and that's what you're aiming to do. You're aiming to give that pigeon that little bit extra, just to give it that little bit of a boost. It can even be using a worming treatment, Sunday, Monday, just to give it that little bit of a boost. You know, and that's what all these top flyers are doing. That's where the novice is getting left behind. Trust me, I know. That is what's happening. You big players in the pigeon world, you don't think that they're just sending them pigeons on a Thursday and scoring in the national out of turn because them pigeons have not been given. Not saying anything illegal here. All I'm saying is they've been given a prescribed wormer, treatment for canker, treatment for ornithosis. That's giving them pigeons that boost that they need for that weekend, for that race. But do not abuse it. I've helped people who've won out of turn, but some of these people are starting to rely on it, and it's wrong. You need to just pick your races 2 or 3 times in a season. That's all I can advise you.
Okay, thank you, mate. Next question is from Scott Barron. He says, what is the purpose of the roundabout system, and what does it do for the pigeon?
I've never used the roundabout system. I don't get excited by it either. What I have done in the past with great success is race cocks and hens on full widowwood. Play around with the cocks for the first 3 or 4 races. When they start to go stale, your hens should then start to come in. You need the hens for the channel. You need the hens for the big racing, for the national racing. They're far superior to cocks. For one, they're not fighting in basket. the hens really, if you box them, we always had our hens boxed. They pair to you. They're not bothered about a partner. They'll pair to you, and they'll fly to you. They'll race to you, and you'll have great success. I've never had hens where there's nets underneath them or mesh underneath them or sloping perches. I've always boxed the hens. We used to train them. We used to train them twice a day, morning and evening, from 30 miles only, same spot every day. And you do have a bit of trouble at times getting them to come into the section, but you just have to be patient. We used to have hens so tame they'd land on your shoulder because they're coming to you. They're not coming to the cock. So unlike widowed cocks, hens is the way forward. But you have to be patient.
Okay, thank you, mate. Sorry about that. That was my support desk incoming call. Right, let me just get back to my screen. So thank you for that, mate. What else have we got? Yeah, we're up to 85 viewers now. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you to everybody that's shared. Greg J. Marshall says, how and when should fat stroke energy mixes be used? Is there a specific distance that you'd use it at, and how much and how long before the given race?
That's a great question. That is a top-class question. Because, Greg, your fat mixers are very important, especially for channel racing. Now, what I intend to do over the coming weeks on this show, all being well, is I'll give you a couple of mixers. One will be 10 straight mixers mixed together, which you do yourself. The other will be a mixture which is... there's good fat mixers out there, but for me, the best fat mix on the market at the minute is Van Roby's Top Energy. For example, going to France, the one loft pigeons here, that's why I like 2 weeks to prepare them. The main thing is the feeding, because you need to build them up, because you never know what you're going to cross. I mean, look to us this year, we dropped on the hardest race we've ever had. A small group of pigeons, 320 pigeons, on their own, being asked to fly vertically 295 miles. No other birds in France that day. They've had to come on their own. Had it been this weekend, would have been great. A couple of thousand, as many as 4,000 pigeons coming into England. It would have been fantastic. So they'd tagged on to back on them. We had 5 birds back on Saturday. So obviously they've come up with the other birds. But going back to the fat mixing. 2 weeks prior to a channel race, I build them up. So we'll use Top Energy. I go down to Holland and Barrett and I pick some extra sunflower oils up, popcorn maize and hemp. I mix all that together. Not obviously I use a small amount of hemp, a decent amount of sunflower oils and a decent amount of popcorn maize, not the old bag that you buy. And then I blend that together with a little bit of garlic oil, which is from Botanicals, Plume Plus oil. And we keep them on that. And when you come to basket them pigeons for that, go into that race, they are enormous. Full of carbohydrates. That's the way forward. Forget the days of peas, beans, tares. They're finished. The modern day pigeon isn't like that anymore. The modern day pigeon is like an athlete. You're the dietitian for that pigeon. Footballers, runners, even boxers this day and age have dietitians. It's no different with pigeons. The modern day pigeon is a different kind of pigeon. Years ago, for example, we'd give them beans, we'd give them peas, and we'd give them tares, and we'd give them extra dog tooth maize because we couldn't afford no more. And what pigeons you didn't have on the day, they'd be lined up like soldiers next morning stood on top of loft. That don't happen anymore. What's not there on the day now and it back within a few hours next morning, you don't see them again. That's the modern day pigeon. So we have to move with the times. And you're 100% right. Fat mixes is the way forward with channel racing. You've got to give them that fat mix because you're building them up for that one big performance. So for me, why do I buy me popcorn maize? Why do I buy me sunflower rocks? Why do I buy me hemp from Roundabout? Because it's for human consumption. So there's no contamination, really.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Cool. Next question. We now have 104 people watching. So you were right, mate. Number of viewers are going up. Stephen O'Brien asks, what products does Gary use for worms and respiratory?
The products I use are basically prescribed by the vet. Everything we get is veterinary approved. You know, I hear so many people purchasing this, that, and the other, and really ain't got a clue what's in it. So, as I've said before, if people want to PM me, I've got nothing to hide. I will disclose the products that we use. That's not a problem. But to bring it out right on social media, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm not prepared to do that. But I will. If anybody wants to know privately,
fair enough.
I have no problem with that at all.
That's great, mate. Next question. It's kind of that's a half question. Marshall Mandrell from France says, "Worm with what kind of product?" So you've already answered. Marshall, just message Gary and he'll sort you. Chris Bennett says, "Thank you." So Kenny Burns asks, if you work 6 a.m. till 6 p.m., how would you feed to get the best out of the birds at exercise at 6 p.m.?
That's another superb question. So I'll go back to when we were racing, and I was working 12-hour nights, 7 days a week, which many in the club I raced in will verify or will clarify. So what I used to do, come home off nights, get home at 5:30 in the morning. I had my wife Annette is brilliant with pigeons and any animals. She'd have the widowwood cocks and widowwood hens basketed for me. Off I'd go to 30 miles. Corn already mixed, what she needed to give them. Loose the cocks first, get them in. Loose the hens second, 20 minutes after. Drive back. Annette would get them in. She would feed them. 1 egg cup full per pigeon of the mixture we'd mixed. I would go to bed. I'd get up at 3:30 in the afternoon, do exactly the same again. Basket the cocks, basket the hens, back to 30 miles. This time, I didn't go home, I went straight to work. Annette would feed, and she would lock the pigeons back up, the hens in the boxes, etc. She would then darken them off at roughly 6:30 in the evening. And I'd be at work, and all I'd do is make a phone call and say, you know, is everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. She was a gem. So it's difficult on your own, but you need your wife, if possible, to get involved. I was very fortunate that my wife did get involved. But I worked 12 hours. I had to travel 40 miles each way to work. So that 12 hours become 14 hours. So it can be done, trust me, but it's dedication and hard work is what's needed.
Okay, thank you. Jamie Langrish says, how do you get them on a level footing once all the birds are in the loft?
Oh, that's a good question as well, because obviously we have some birds coming 2 months after the others. As people have brought the birds to the loft, we'll tell you that we put a coloured split ring on the pigeons so we know when them birds have come. So, for example, the first 15 days of pigeons being at this loft, they are hand caught every day and put through the traps, because that's the most important thing. I don't like to see birds going on the floor at all. As Mark Walker and Dean Hayes will tell you, when they brought along their birds, are running around the garden like an headless chicken, trying to get birds off the floor because it was the first time they'd been out. and that's expected because they see other birds in the aviary. It's natural for a bird to want to go on the floor. Within 2 days, you've cracked it. But that's how we do it. We segregate it. So if we have birds come in, we'll say February, for example, which is very few really, but if we have them in February, they'll go in the top aviary. The birds which come, say, the first 2 weeks in March will be caught for 15 days, put through the traps. Then they'll be took down the field, let out the baskets to fly back up to the loft. Once they've gone through that trap, they will join the older pigeons. And we continue like that. It rotates like that. Sometimes it's hard because some weeks you might have 200 pigeons come. So the work, your work is cut out. It's 24/7. But within a matter of weeks, pigeons are a creature of habit. This year, I had pigeons come to me. I'm not going to say where from, but they came from on the continent, which had been flying around this guy's loft for 2 weeks before they came to me.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me.
Yeah.
You mentioned to me that before. Well, you didn't mention it to me. I heard you saying it sort of. Yeah. So how long have they been flying out over there?
They've been flying around his loft for 2 weeks. So there was a good fair age, but they're probably 50, 60 days old when they come. So what we did then, you've got to start boxing clever. But pigeons are a creature of habit. And what we did, we locked them up for another 5 weeks. So they just saw the aviary. Aviary, that's all they saw, looking out. We had probably 70 or 80 pigeons on top of the loft. It was make or break. Took them down the field, just let them 3 out on their own. One spent a night out. The others, no problem at all. 2 out of them 3 pigeons went to the final. 2 out of them 3 pigeons are home from the final. So it really makes a mockery of the age of the pigeon, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've said in the past that age is. You think birds later. Why is that not stopping? Oh, there you go. I've stopped it. You've said in the past that for your race, birds coming in later seem to do better.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the older birds seem to do all right as well.
Yeah. In the hotspot races, the older pigeons are, they really fly well. But if I can get any advice, whether it's the way that we put them on the dark, whether it's the way we race them, whether it's I don't know what it is, but we find that the pigeons which come to us between the 10th of March and the 10th of April are the best performing pigeons. The winner this year came really late. He only just got in from the deadline of the loft closing. The year before was the same. What we have had is, although you try to advise people to send pigeons between 30 and 40 days old, I've had some pigeons come to me which aren't even feathered under wing. Now, we're not geniuses and we can't work miracles. So straight away, that pigeon's, it's only young, it's 21 days old, it's on the back foot. But we keep them on the yard, we give them extra TLC, and one of them pigeons, was it last year? I think it was last year. Finished second. No, it didn't finish second. It finished third. So we do. I would more appreciate them being between 30 and 40 days old because they've gone. They're strong. That they've built up some sort of immunity. So when we vaccinate them when they arrive, you're giving them that boost of that immunity.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. The first, as I said before, the first 6 weeks is a nightmare.
Yes. Next question from Jack Berry. If you were going to race midweek up to 70 miles and a race program on Saturday with the same pigeons, how would you feed, train, and exercise?
To start off with, if it was a northeast wind on the midweek race, I won't send them. I'd only send them pigeons if the wind was in my favour and it wasn't going to take too much out of them. I would feed them exactly the same. I'd start from Saturday coming home, give them a depurative mix. On Sunday, I'd bang them straight on a decent mix. Monday the same, send them. Wednesday when they come home from the race, 100% widowed mix. I wouldn't break them down. I'd just keep them going through. Personally speaking, I never raced midweek. It was Saturday to Saturday. But I don't see any point breaking them down midweek. And I only used to on a Saturday when our birds come home, they had depurative with buttermilk on corn, which is a natural probiotic to clean the gut out. They had the same on Sunday, just to clear the gut out, basically. Cheap as cheese, 40p from supermarket.
Okay, next question. Got lots coming in. From Tommy Wardle. Which way would you say is the best to fly young birds, natural or split? And do you have, or which way would you, and which way have you had better success?
Fantastic question, that, Tommy. Fantastic question. For the first 4 races, I'd race them on the door method, thus cocks and hens split. I would have at least half a dozen old hens in with the younger hens, and after the first 4 races, I'd leave them together to couple to pick the partner. Because what we need to be aiming at then, we want them sitting eggs or feeding youngster for the longer distance races, which are beginning of September onwards. And if a youngster is sitting eggs or feeding a youngster, it's got that extra incentive to come home. Having said that, we have had good results on the door method, but by leaving the pigeons coupled all along from day one, and then throwing all the eggs away with 3 races to go, and using the door method. So in other words, the reverse of what I said previous. But personally, I would use the door method for 4 races. You'll have great success with it. Then leave them coupled together. The old hens will pair with no problem whatsoever. You'll have your cocks being robust by then, and get them sitting eggs or pointed chippings, brilliant for hens. Feeding the youngster and driving to nest for a cock is superb as well. Aim for that for the channel, for the longer distance racing, your national racing I'm talking now.
Cool. John O'Brien asks, is it possible to race both north and south with the same birds?
I know some people who raced north last year and then turned them straight south. I also know a very, very good fancier close to me who raced south for years and went back north, and he's won 2, I think it's 2 or maybe 3 NRCCs in the last 3 years. So yes, it can be done. It's all about the pigeon, really, and it's all about your methods. But this guy, I'd love to mention him, but I'm not going to do. But he did it, and I take my hat off to him for doing it.
Cool. Next question from Greg Marshall again. He said, sorry, I missed other night, and I heard you talking about young bird wing for the big races. What was the wing state that you said you had the most success with?
Well, it's obviously the more flights in the wing, the better it is. But I always found that 7 3/4 was perfect for flying the channel. So if this year's winner, if you look at the wing, you count the flights, she had 7 3/4. She had 7 3/4 in, and that bird flew 10 hours and 19 minutes as a young bird. So for me, she was in perfect condition. Couldn't have been any better. Now, the pigeon what was second had 9 flights in. The pigeon what was third had 9 flights in. But the one with 7 3/4 was the one that did the job.
I hope that helps, Greg. Danae Simpson says, what if all the birds don't get home in time to feed?
Then they don't get anything. Simple as that. You know, are we talking from a race now? We're talking from training.
I think that's quite a delayed question, because we're not a delayed from the man, but I think that's because we were talking about. I think that was the earlier question relating to that person's regime of 6 o'clock feeding and training and what have you. Yeah.
Well, what I always did, and I advised the fly to do it this year, and he's had some good, really, really good success, is all our birds were fed in the boxes. Fed and don't get me wrong, in the cock section, they had a water fountain, but all the feed was on the boxes in depots. The ends obviously had a depot for food and a depot for water. So if you had, say, a hen coming back an hour, 2 hours later, it doesn't matter, because the feed is still on the box and the other pigeons can't get to it. Now, if you had a widowed cock coming back later, you'd have to lock that box off, because if you didn't, another cock would go in it. So when you finally let that cock into his section and went to that box, you've got all my trouble, because they're going to be scrapping like no tomorrow. Again, it really, with the cocks, it's common sense.
Okay, thank you, mate. Next question from Tom Powers is, how many sections do you have to run your settling regime?
Oh, we have plenty of room. The loft's got 12 sections, all at 10 foot. But what we do is where the traps are, they're in the they're in the fourth and fifth sections of the loft. As the birds have got used to going through the traps, we move them to what we'll call to the first section, second section, third section, until there's enough birds in that section. If then we've still need to use the fourth and fifth sections, they'll then go to the sixth, seventh, and eighth section of the aviary. I'm talking now. So that's the way it's done. It's not, if you like, it's like on a roundabout system. If the new birds which come into the loft are put through the traps, they'll be then put out the way. The birds in one section, if need be, will be took to the training, because I don't fly. Well, I said this on Monday. We did loft fly 30 because they came early in February, but we don't loft fly them anymore. We take them only 2 miles in the transporter 3 times a day and let them fly back to the loft. That's been far better results this year than what flying them around the loft is, because trust me now, let any one loft race owner try and tell you that they get one loft birds flying for more than 40 minutes, then trust me now, they pull it all over your eyes, because they don't.
Yeah, you said that.
If you've got a small group of pigeons, they'll roam and they'll go. If you've got 100 pigeons in the sky, they won't. They just go round and round and round.
Cool. Next question. We are going to be having Gary on regular, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to ask for no more questions now, because we've still got some backed up and we are already at 10 to 10. So we are going to be having on. So the plan is, I'll tell you about the new schedule, but the plan is to have him on at minimum once a month. So yeah, right. Next question is Morris O'Donnell says, ask Gary who holds the 2-bird record in his race. Is that a
well, I'll answer
is that a loaded question?
No, I'll answer that, because it was a fantastic achievement, an achievement which I don't think will ever be beaten. In 2017, we had a northeast wind, but very, very little wind. But again, it was a really, really hot day, and Morris's bird was 4th and 6th. So I don't think 4th and 6th will ever be beat again for the 2-bird average. So well done, Morris.
I should have known it was his I should have known it was his. Yeah, I didn't think it was a searching question in need of answers. Next question is: what if they had a hard race? Would you still feed the putative?
Yeah, on the return, I would. Yeah, with the buttermilk on the corn, and I'd also do the same on Sunday morning. But then on the Sunday afternoon, on the Sunday evening feed, I'd put them back on a different mixture.
That's funny, Gary. I'm sorry to interrupt you because the next question from Stephen O'Brien is have you ever used buttermilk on the corn during the molting season?
Yes, fantastic.
How do you find it?
Fantastic. What we need to do, what I'd advise fanciers to do now, is once you finish your last young bird race, lock your youngsters up 21 days on buttermilk. They'll be through the molt before end of November, early December. It's unbelievable.
Excellent. Learning a lot, folks. Simon Woolley says, do the young cocks and hens see each other through the sliding door method, or is it solid doors or dowed?
Solid doors. When we raced, we had solid doors for the cocks and for the hens. The only time they saw each other was on Friday, 2:00 in the afternoon, for basketing at 5:00. They had 3 hours together, that's it. Nest bowls, cardboard boxes, boards up, you name it.
Okay, great. Next question is from Rick Engelbrecht. He said, I assume you darken youngsters. Do you do anything to delay the molt towards the end of the young bird season?
Yeah, you use the lights. We never used the lights this year or last year for the one loft birds. But if I was racing pigeons from the second week in August, I'd have the lights on to 11:00 in the evening on a dimmer. So as it got to say 20 past 10, 10:30, the light has started to dim like a natural light.
Mm-hmm. Great. Chris Deegan said, hi, Mark and Gary, regarding one loft races, what age do you think is the best age to enter? And upon entry, how long do you keep the birds in for the first flight?
I think the best age is between 30 and 40 days. No doubt about that. They don't go out for 15 days anyway. As I said earlier, we catch them for 15 days by hand and put them through the traps because I want them to know that's the only way into the loft. As people will tell you who's brought their youngsters here, the first thing we do, we take them up to the loft while they're here. If they want to stay and watch it, they go through the trap by hand. So they never forget that's the way into the loft.
Excellent. Next question. What's more important? This is from Stuart Reed. What's more important, road training or basket training? I don't race or train babies anymore due to the hawks, but basket them every Saturday and feed and water them in the crates. Then just let them up Sunday evening.
No, for me, train. I used to do it years and years ago, which don't train with wood cocks or a load of rubbish. You need to train every day. Obviously, it goes. Your pocket governs things. I understand that. But if for example, let's say we've got a group of pigeons flying around the loft for 45 minutes. If you took them 20 mile down the road, they put far more effort into that 20 mile getting home than they would flying around the loft for 2.5 hours. Because how many times do we watch these widowed cocks flying and clapping with big balls in their throats, etc.? They're not exercising, they're looking pretty. You take them 20 mile down the road and loose them, they've got to fly. I understand the hawk situation. It's a massive problem at the minute. It really is. And it's not going to get any better. But the question is, I would train, not loft fly, train. Once the birds are fit, that is, I'd train.
Great. Stegan says Morris is a boy, which he sure is. Denise Simpson says, where do you get your buttermilk from?
Morrison's, Tesco, any supermarket.
Oh, yeah. Stephen O'Brien said that. Yeah. Okay. Any supermarket then. Wayne Conway says, how many days do you use buttermilk when molting?
21 days. After the final young bird race, lock them up for 21 days, 3 weeks. And buttermilk on corn every day. Mix it the night before, and it will clog the corn together. So the next morning, you need to go in and break it all up, because obviously it's gelled together, and give it another stir, and it's ready to feed that day. But always mix it the night before.
Stephen Kennedy, Gary's just answered your question there that you put in, mate. I hope that is okay. Eddie McGettigan says, when you raced, how did you treat the birds throughout the race season? For example, canker, respiratory, etc. What did you use? Eddie, Gary did talk about that on Monday a lot. Let me, just because we are running out of time, just private message Gary, Eddie, and he will give you all the info. He'll only be too happy to do that. All right.
What I intend to do, Mark, in a later broadcast, is speak about how we the health situation regarding pairing the stock pigeons up, what we did to create, or what I did to make, but health-wise for the widowed cocks, what you were going to race that season, what treatment we gave them while they were paired up, when we paired them up, what we did then prior to them starting to exercise to start training them for the forthcoming season. I will bring all that out in later broadcasts.
Okay, thank you, mate. That's great. One last question from Andy Pereira. Do you ever use chicken pellets?
No.
Simple question, simple answer. Cool. Thank you, mate. Right. So, I mean, that was another epic question and answer session, over 45 minutes. I've got one more question coming. This is the last question I'm going to ask now, and then we're cut on questions for tonight, and we will be doing many again, I promise you. Eddie says, thank you. No worries, Eddie. One last question from William McCauley. How do you stop watery droppings during the molting?
Well, first thing I'd need to ask you is, what are you putting in the water? Are you using a lot of vitamins? What corn are you exactly feeding them for the molt? And in a nutshell, that's what you need to look at, really. But what I will say is, I've had a few phone calls this week. One or two fanciers are having a few sickness problems and watery green droppings with their young birds, as they've started to lock them up for the molt. I have advised a couple of fanciers. One I will be meeting on Sunday, and at the moment I do believe that the advice I gave them is helping them.
Okay. I lied. There's one more question, and this really is the last one, mate, because it's a good question. Simon Woolley asks, how do you select who to pair, what to, and how many chances would you give a pair to prove themselves?
Simon, you know me. It's winner to winner. Any pigeon here, which is over 2 years old, has bred something. If any pigeon here gets 2 years, but what I will do is we swap and wrap. So let's say we have a cock which hasn't performed paired to a certain hen in 2019. Next year we put to a hen which has performed paired, coupled to a different cock. If then nothing comes out of that, then I'm sorry, we have to move them on. Okay. I have to be careful what I say, as you can appreciate. But for example, last year we put venture pigeons every year in the one loft race. Now, when we put them venture pigeons, we want them fancies to have every chance of winning that race. So, for example, last year I bred 2 pigeons out of a pair. Number 12 and number 13 were the ring numbers. I won't give the full ring number, but number 12 and number 13. Not one of them pigeons made the final. That pair are no longer in the loft.
Fair enough. A lot of people thanking you. Wayne Conway says, thanks. Well done, Gary. I've not done anything, mate. All I've done is compared it. Thank you, Gary. Stephen Kennedy says, right. So, yeah. Gaz Pigeon Hall says, great night. Thanks, lads. Thank you, mate. Again, let's just do a little bit of promo while you're still on. We told you on Monday, well, it's been out there a couple of weeks, but maybe everybody doesn't know it. Couple of things. So if you get the British Homing World, you see the advert in there for the Who Dares Wins 2019 finalists. That starts 26th of September. And it will be on rpiauctions.com. Speaking of which, we did a little promo. We launched it 2 days ago, I think it was. And the promo is simple. Go to rpiauctions.com. I'm going to type that in there now. If you go to rpiauctions.com, and just simply register. You can't do anything else. The site's still on the back end, live in development and what have you. But if you register, we are going to be doing a random prize draw on the 26th, the day the auction opens. And we're going to be giving somebody £100 credit to bid on the Who Dares Wins pigeons. Simple as that. All you need to do is go and register. We've already had 122 people register. There's a reason we're doing this. One is to give £100 credit, but 2, so we don't have masses of people registering on the first day. So, as I said, you can't do anything. You can't do anything yet. We have had some email problems. You may not get an email. My tech team are working on it. You may not get an email confirmation. I personally have got them on one email system and not on another. So we're working on it. But if you want to check that you're registered, just message me and I can check in the system that you are. Everybody that's asked me if they're registered so far have been registered. That gives you an indication. Just go and register at rpiauctions.com and basically you'll be in a prize draw, a random prize draw for £100 in credit. You'll have a credit applied to your account and you can use that to bid on any of the Who Dares Wins pigeons. How many birds at the moment are in, mate?
There's 94 at the minute, and okay. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to push the sale at all, because people will do what they want to do, and that's my way anyway. But what I will say is, as you know, I've started to put the sales list together, which I'm going to be forwarding on to you. So you've got the hard work, I've got the easy work, really, because I've got the pedigrees in front of me to do the write-up, etc. Now, what I will say is there's some phenomenally bred pigeons, trust me now. And if there's anybody out there who's a novice, and there will be some cheap pigeons go, if I was to start racing again tomorrow, as from scratch, I would not just saying from this one loft race, there's various one loft races all over the world, I would go out there and I'd buy one loft pigeons. Why? Because fanciers who went to one loft races spend their very best. And some of these fanciers have paid thousands to purchase the parents of the youngster they sent here. So you will be 2/3 of the way there. I know of fanciers which I'd love to name again. One from Devon, and I'll know what I'm talking about. One from Worcester. I've bought one loft pigeons every year for the last 2 years out of this race. One's nearly split the club up and is a novice. The other one has won for fun as well. You can't get better, because the fanciers, I know some of the pigeons which I've seen the pedigrees on here, the parents would have cost a small fortune, trust me. So it's each to their own. Don't think I'm trying to push them on you. You've got other one loft races you can take your pick of. All I'm saying is, you're getting class, you're getting quality.
Yeah, we know the kind of money spent on a lot of these birds, so that's no secret. So yeah, go. We've already had 4 people just do that while we've been on here. Go and register at rpiauctions.com and be in a draw to win £100 auction credit. So that's that. And then again, it's worth mentioning, Gary's had people all week taking him up on it. It's worth mentioning that the Who Dares Wins 2020 race. Well, 2 things. One, it has a new website and it has a new website address. The website address, with all due respect to Gary, is a hell of a lot easier to remember than the old one. And it's simply whodareswinsrace.com. So if you go to whodareswinsrace.com, that's the new website. Not a massive amount has changed on it yet. It's a work in progress. We both think it visually looks better. There's a lot more. There's a big promo video coming on, which I'm waiting to do. But the thing that I was mentioning, specifically wanted to mention, is that the easy payment plan details are on there. So if you click on the top of the website, easy payment plan, you can download the form, and it's very basic and simple. And the simple thing is this: it's £50 deposit to put a team of 3 birds in. You can pay as little or as much, weekly, monthly, whenever. It doesn't have to be weekly or monthly, up until the birds come in. The only thing is, all of the money for the team has to be paid in before the birds arrive at the loft. Realistically, a day or so before the birds arrive at the loft. Of course, yes, if you were delivering the bird yourself to the loft, you can pay with the second. You can pay when the birds turn up. If you're bringing the birds to Gary, of course, you can do that on the day. It's a simple form to fill out, and basically that's pretty much it. The deal is that no money is refundable. Okay. Now, as we've said on the contract, the little agreement there, it's down to Gary's discretion. If something bad happens and it's legit, of course, Gary's not going to be an idiot about it, and he's going to use his discretion. But the reality is, Gary obviously can't have people paying and only paying bits and what have you. So the money is non-refundable unless it's at Gary's discretion if there's a valid reason. But that, again, allows you to be able to have 6 to 8 months to pay for your entries. And that's that. The last thing is you are going to be over at Mark Walker's at the weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Very much so.
Yeah. So you're going to be there. I know there's going to be a lot of people there. So if you are going, you'll be able to see Gary over there. So yeah, that's it, mate. Thank you very much. Again, appreciate it. You've been on nearly an hour again, and that's because people love asking you questions and hearing the answers. And
Mark, I really enjoy it. Honestly, I really do enjoy it. You know, and if I can offer any knowledge or anything to anybody out there, especially novice fanciers, the working class fancier, the everyday fanciers, I call them. You know, good luck to you, lads. You know, I'm there for you if you need me.
That's good, man. Thank you. All right, mate. I'll catch you soon. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Right. So there we go. Another epic question and answer session from Gary. I hope you get value out of that. It's certainly I enjoy it, and I know other people do as well. Right. Once again, we've kind of ran over, but we're going to carry on for those of you who want to watch. We still have 72 people watching. So let's carry on. So the next thing I want to talk about is the European Eagle Owl project. Got some updates. Right. So let me start off again by saying the following. I had a call with Ian Evans today, actually, and I was going over this with him. And this project is not about breeding a load of European eagle owls and releasing them out into the wild. It is not about that. That is illegal to do. About putting together a test program to get up and running, to get us used to it, and then putting together a breeding program to allow flyers to be able to keep a European eagle out and fly it out as a deterrent to their immediate area. That's the first plan. I've been in touch with numerous experts with these birds, and I've got 3 people now offering to help us out with the care. From all intents and purposes, it seems that they are relatively easy animal to look after. They cost between 10 and 20p, depending on where you get your food from. They have to be frozen day-old chicks, dead day-old chicks. So you're looking at between £3 and £6 a month to keep one of these birds. They are magnificent birds. I personally will be keeping one when I move. So more bigger picture stuff of what we're doing. The Pigeon Sport Future Foundation is going to be running the European Eagle Owl project. We're going to be working with Johnny McWhirter, who's the founder of this project. And essentially, to get it going, we need money. And we are going, I'm going to do a separate video specifically about this, but I'm going to mention it now. We are going to be looking for people to give us birds to auction off. They will be auctioned off on rpiauctions.com. It will be obviously completely free of charge, as any charity auctions will be completely free of charge for people to use the platform. But we are going to be looking for top names in the sport to be able to donate birds to us to get this first auction kicked off. My personal goal, it's not Johnny's goal, but it's my personal goal, is to get this first fundraising effort to generate £10,000. Like I've said before, it will all go into the Pigeon Sport Future Foundation, which will be running the project. This Pigeon Sport Future Foundation is a non-profit organization. The European Eagle Owl project has its own separate bank account. So all monies that are being generated for the European Eagle Owl project will go into a separate bank account and will not be used for anything other than the European Eagle Owl project. So, as I said, I'm going to do a separate thing about it, but we are looking for top class birds to go into this auction. We are getting ready to take action on this and get going. So if you or you know anybody that would be up for donating birds, we are looking to put a charity auction together as soon as possible to get as much money raised to get this European Eagle Owl project kicked off. Phase 2 of it is to develop it around. And obviously there's a testing phase. I was speaking to a very good expert yesterday up in Scotland who said who empathizes with our situation, and he thinks, based upon his knowledge, having a European Eagle Owl in an aviary that's large enough, obviously, with an open top or mainly open top, his experience, the noises that owl makes, and the visual side of it, obviously, falcons can see a lot better than we can. And the noise element of it, they do make a noise, by the way, but that is enough of a deterrent. He never had a peregrine around his European Eagle Owl when he was keeping it in this specific location. So there's a lot to go. But look, the long-term phase of this is to basically say, look, we know the European Eagle Owl was indigenous to the UK 400 years ago. And the long-term goal of it is to say, obviously, the artificial breeding of peregrine falcons and the breeding nest sites is a thing I personally have the issue with. Like I've said before, I haven't got a problem with peregrine falcons. I have a problem with the amount that are being put into artificial nesting areas. The long-term plan is to say, look, the sea eagle, which was reintroduced down into the Isle of Wight a few weeks ago, we want the European Eagle Owl to, over a period of time, through legal, proper channels, to be reintroduced back, to make this balance back, because that's a practical thing that can happen. Like I said, I was speaking to Ian Evans about this earlier, and he said he doesn't think, and I agree, this on its own is not going to cure the problem. Obviously the RPRA are doing the best they can. They've got stuff in the works they're doing as well. But an accumulation of projects like this and other things that people are doing can ultimately help the problem. So the main thing is we're going to be getting this auction up and running soon. It will be, I want it to raise £10,000 directly for the European Eagle Owl project to get as many people up and running with this as possible. We've got the supply of the owls sorted out. We know what they need, and we've got the right people to our advisors and you to be able to do it. As I said, you're looking at about, let's call it between £5 and £10 a month to look after one of these magnificent birds. Which ultimately the European Eagle Owl project will fund the setup of people to get up and running with them. It will supply the bird and what have you. But ultimately, we're going to be looking for people to pay their own food bills once we've set them up with the bird and what have you. So we need birds. We need top class birds. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hitting up a lot of people. But if you know people or yourself have got good birds that you want to put up for auction to donate to this project, please let us know. In addition, you may or may not have seen, I've got pigeonprize.com that we just put a little raffle on today. And we will be looking for a couple of those birds to go on a raffle. Obviously, we want to be inclusive to all, and not everybody will be able to afford to bid on a bird. Even, we won't be selling any birds for less than 50 quid. Hopefully that'll be the absolute minimum. And certain people can't afford £50 at the moment. So another way we're going to be doing is we'll be doing a raffle of a couple of key birds as well. And we'll be raffling it off for a £5 entry so that it hopefully means that people can be doing. We're looking to have a raffle on pigeonprize.com that all money goes to the Pigeon Sport Future Foundation once a month. So lots going on there. But so we need top quality birds. So that's what I'm going to be pushing for a lot there as well. Again, to answer your question, mate, what is your plan with the European Eagle Owl project in Ireland? We do have somebody that we're looking to work with down in this quite way down in the south of Ireland, but ultimately we're going to be looking for more people in Ireland, both north and south, to get involved with this. We do have someone that will be helping us down there, but we will be looking for more people as well. So if you're interested or you know anybody it is, please let us know. Because I have been extremely busy with so much stuff, the the PSF Foundation website isn't up and running yet. It will be as soon as I can, and I just need to clone myself and things will be a lot easier on everybody. But we are looking to get that auction up and running as soon as possible, and we're going to be hitting up as many people as possible for birds. So if you know birds, if you've got good quality birds that you would like to donate, please let us know. Me or Johnny McWhirter will be coordinating that. And like I said, we're going to be looking for 1 or 2 key birds to go into a raffle, where it's just going to cost people a £5 to get in, because we want to include everybody. And ultimately, this project needs any donation, small or large. So that's where we're at. So that's the kind of update on that. It is going right. Again, way over, but I've got to bring this up because it's important. I've been speaking to Mark Walker, the DEFRA situation, Brexit, the horrible, dreaded word. The long and the short of it at the moment is that it is highly likely that each import of birds coming in from the continent will need its own separate license. A license is currently £55. I think it's pounds, not euros. I think it's pounds. And the unfortunate is payable if you just bring in 1 bird in or 20 birds in. What Walker is keeping abreast of the situation, and obviously things are fluid and changing all the time. But at the moment, it's going to look like a vet on the continent where the birds are coming from are going to have to provide a license, and those birds are going to have to travel with a license to come in. And the license cost is £55. That's where where Mark thinks it's going at the moment. I don't think he doesn't at this moment in time think it's going to go into a quarantine situation. Chris, the long and short of it is a bad job has been made of it. I assume you're talking about Brexit. Yeah. William McCauley heading off now. Be in touch. No worries, William. Thank you. So that's where we're at with that. I will keep you informed as I hear more from Mark. Mark is the man that knows, because obviously his entire business is built around that. Next thing to discuss quickly is changes to this TV show. It has been suggested that maybe twice a week is too much. Although saying that, with Gary being on for the last 2 shows, we've gone way over and it's been amazing. And touch wood, no technical issues tonight. I put it out there and I asked about time. So the long and the short of it is this. RPI TV show is going to be on Mondays now. It's going to be on a Monday evening. I put a vote out about asking the time. I asked if it was 7, 8, or 9. 9 is a problem because if we're only doing one show on a Monday, I want the show to go on as long as, within reason, as long as it needs to. Like now, we're already 2 hours in, and I'm all right with that. The idea is it concentrates it into one thing. Everybody knows in their diaries it's RPI TV on a Monday evening. And so the bottom line is the long and the short. I took the vote on the time. The overwhelming time for the vote was 80% in favor of an 8 o'clock start. Obviously, if you can't catch the live, it's always available on the replay. So the long and the short of it is this. RPI TV, as of next week, will be on Monday evenings at 8 o'clock. And it will last as long within reason as it needs to. And it will be then. That doesn't mean, of course, I'm not going to be doing other lives during the week. You know I do. But RPI TV will be 8 o'clock UK time on a Monday evening starting next Monday. And there will be no Thursday show. But like I said, 8 o'clock gives us enough time to for it to go on as long. Like tonight, we're 2 hours 15 into it and we're just about finishing. So, and with this, I want to get it. The game is going to be upped even more over the coming months. You're going to be seeing more stuff going on. Guest-wise, I want to be bringing more guests in as well. We're going to have Gary coming in once a month, and he's going to be doing his thing at least once a month because people love it. I love the question and answer. This is what it's all about. It's about sharing that info, getting good people involved, and what have you. So that's where we're at. So as of Monday evening, I will be putting it out on Facebook. 8 o'clock Monday evenings will be RPI TV. No Thursday show, but we will go on as long on Mondays. I had a couple of people saying they preferred Thursdays. The trouble with Thursday is it's a delay in racing season. And Mondays was an overwhelming vote. So that's what we're going to go with. So a couple of other little promo things. So that's it for the show. Promo time. Go to Gary's website and check out the new website. I'm going to put that here. So Gary's new website is there. You will be able to see all of the details of the easy payment plan. What else have we got to tell you about? If you go and register at RPI auctions, all you have to do is register. You can't see anything yet, but go and get registered at RPI auctions already. Let's get a latest count. 129 people have already registered. But if you go and register at RPI auctions, as long as you're registered before the first auction starts on the 26th, you'll be in the draw for £100 auction credit. You can use that £100 for any of the Who Dares Wins birds. You may or may not have seen me earlier on doing a live. We're doing a raffle for a Mark Walker's, one of Mark's perfectly, sorry, it is a perfect pigeon, but one of Mark Walker's hand-picked Rudy Van Reef pigeons from 2019 stock. If you go to, 1 second, let me get this typed out. If you go to pigeonprize.com, I have had people having problems getting PayPal to work, right? If you cannot get PayPal to work to get your tickets bought, message me and I will do it manually for you. You can manually send me the PayPal and we will sort it. As a point of reference, if you look at the lottery history on the pigeonprize.com website and the raffle for the Rudy Van Reef pigeon, you will see, and I'm just saying it as a full disclosure, you will see some in the lottery history. At the moment, you will see 2 users called offline entry. That user is our user account. I have a little sheet here. I have all the communications with the people to prove it. And basically people that struggle to pay on PayPal, we've done it manually and picked the number for them. All right. But if you are having problems, basically it's a $5 per ticket. You can have up to 6 tickets and it's your chance to be able to get a hand-selected bird from Mark of his Rudy Van Reef pigeons. And we at this moment in time, out of 50 tickets, we have half have gone already. And I'll be doing the draw live on Racing Pigeon International TV. RPI TV will be at Mark's on Sunday morning through about 2 o'clock-ish. But late morning, we will be doing the prize draw live for the pigeonprize.com raffle draw. We'll be doing it live from Mark's. Numbers in the hat, picked out, winners done, job's a good one. The last thing, which has been scrolling through on this screen all night, is we are just very scarily close, considering we only launched the group 4 weeks ago today. We are scarily close to hitting 3,000 members. We are on 2,990 members. If you go here and join, I'm going to just put this in again. Can't do 2 things at once. Should be able to, but can't think about what I'm properly saying, and type as well. If you go to that group, I've just put in the link, facebook.com/groups/Racing Pigeon International. Go and join our group. We are just about to hit 3,000 members in there. We are it's only been going 4 weeks. Increasingly, I'm going to be doing more things specific just to that group only, which also includes group specific competitions, raffles, and free prize draws. So it's one for that alone being worth in there. I'm going to be launching a little competition in there in the next 2 days for group members as well. As I said, close to 3,000 members in there. It's a great group. There's some rules of the group, which just is normal niceness and a friendly group. So go and join that group as well. That is it for now. Thank you to the literally hundreds, if not over 1,000 people that have watched this tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. I love doing these kinds of things. We've had no technical issues, so that makes me a lot happier. So yes, so I will be live from Gary's pretty impressive, it has to be said, set up on Sunday from about 10:30, and I will be doing the prize draw there. Like I said, 50 tickets available, and half of them have gone already. So go and get your £5 tickets. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I do plan to do a Facebook Live tomorrow about nothing directly to do with pigeons, but actually it's something that's really peed me off today. But it's not pigeon related. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And of course, I'm going to be pushing the different promos we've got going on at the moment as well. So you'll see that. But thank you very much for watching. 2.5 hour show tonight. So, but it's flown by. I don't know where the time goes. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. Be lucky. Keep flying.